What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. And a very grand welcome to all the fellow decoders out there around the world, wherever you are. My name is Logan, and this is Decode Your Reality, and today we're going to be breaking down and decoding the topic called the Two Thieves. And ladies and gentlemen, just when I didn't think, my hands are on my head right now, just when I couldn't think I could come out with a more important decode, this one comes along. It just seems like I'm getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the infinite spot of creation, like the true source. That's how I feel, anyway. And this one will unload some information that will completely upend your reality. It will completely drop some truth bombs for all of you. I will be using multiple layers, as I always do, to present this information, but I will be showing you things to support this presentation with ironclad and convincing evidence. And I will continue to say that our reality is fixed, it's scripted. We live in a simulation. It's a real simulation, but it's a simulation, and I will support that throughout this decode. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the song that was playing in the beginning, Joker and the Thief in the Night, which is by the band Wolfmother, Feed the Wolf. And this wasn't planned. This was not planned by me to use this song. It just popped into my head when I was decoding this information, because what I was decoding was this story in the Holy Bible, the impenitent thief. God, it's a tongue twister. And then you have the opposite, which is the penitent thief, who is revered in the Bible. And these are the two thieves that sit side by side with the Christ as he's getting crucified. And there's a cross on your face, and you're feeding it. And I'm going to show you the machinations of how that works, and how perhaps to take control of your life through the free will that we perhaps might have. And I'm going to show you what has been influencing a lot of people over the course of their lives. And it's time to stop letting those things influence you. Their empire is falling, which is pretty much the entire matrix. But as you can see here, I didn't pick this topic based on like sitting down and I knew Feed the Wolf was 60 and to the Two Thieves is 60, but it's the story of the two thieves. That's what this whole thing was based off of, was these two thieves right here. And that's why I named it this. But I didn't even know until I found this that it was a direct match to Feed the Wolf. And obviously the secret is no secret no longer. The two thieves are your eyes. And I'm going to break all that stuff down during this presentation. This is probably going to be a long one. And I have no time constraints. This information is very, very creme de la creme pertinent. And I'm going to unleash it on all of you. Those of you that stick around towards the end, you deserve to stick around towards the end. I know the analytics, so most people don't stick around towards the end, but that's fine. We want to be the people that are in the minority, not the majority. You want to be the minority. That's where you're going to find the truth. Anyway, that's what I think. But there you go, and it's tied to neodymium, which is magnetic. Our eyes are magnetic. 60 is neodymium. The two thieves feed the wolf is the number 60. So let's get into the topics of conversation. In the zero position, the intro, which is, you saw a little bit about that. What I'm doing right now. Number 1, we have paradise. Number 2, Joker and the thieves. Number 3, black sun illusion. Number 4, architect 28. Number 5, the pineal gland. And number 6, always love to hear what you see in your observations. What did you see? Keep them coming. Leave your comments in the description below, in the comment section, I should say. So let's get into the first topic. Paradise. That's right, because that's what this whole story about the two thieves is all about. Here is a great rendition of the two thieves. You know, I've come out, if you haven't seen my Christ battery, please check it out. I've decoded Christianity. I've decoded the Bible. How about this story about the two thieves? You know, this thief right here supposedly is the thief that Jesus is leaning towards, because his face is leaning towards the right. And then this is the devil. This would be the representation of the sun. This would be the representation of the moon. And Jesus is leaning towards the moon. Of course, Jesus is 18. Moon is 8. Moon is going to be tied to that. But that's why his face is leaning towards this. And is everything inverted? Is this because this is a game, folks. So if we're supposed to go left, let's go right. And we'll be breaking all this stuff down. But that's what this whole thing's about, is the two thieves and being our eyes and all that kind of stuff. So let's get into that. So I want to start off by, if you haven't seen this decode that I came out with, 42 Decoded, please go check it out. It shows you the incarnation, reincarnation process. And I will just say loosely and having fun that it's possible that we never get out of this game. You just get reincarnated, you level up, you change characters, you change avatars, you become male, you become female. And perhaps, excuse me, perhaps the winning hand will be just let go. Wow, as soon as I said all this stuff, I started coughing and... But check this out, Prison Planet. And Prison Planet is tied to the 52 in the string of pi. It's tied to the 82, which is tied to lead. Of course, lead to gold. We are lead. Which is starting off with a bang with this, because you see, this scripture right here is the scripture that is tied to the Christ and the two thieves. And it's Luke 23 verses 43. And this is where he said, "Verily I say to you, today you shall be with me in paradise." Of course, he's referring to the guy to his right. Because this guy right here is the doubting dude. He's like, well, you should get us out of here with your Messiah complex. It's kind of how I read it. It could be the doubting Thomas. And then this guy right here would be like, oh, I trust you. And Jesus is leaning towards him. And he's talking about him being in the paradise with him, which I feel is the reincarnation process, putting you back into lead. When I broke down Luke 23 verses 43, it ended up becoming number 82. I had to reformat this a little bit because this was going to reduce down. So if you're wondering why you're not going to get this through Derek's Gematronator, I had to reformat this because I feel like when you do these verses and stuff like that, they keep their authentic forms. So Luke 23 is 23 and 43 is 43, which just gives us the 82, which is going to give us the prison planet. So the paradise the prison? And is the whole story of the Christ designed to keep you stuck in the game of life? Which obviously, it's not a bad thing. If it's the golden age, however that looks. So I decided to break down this scripture through alchemology. Alchemology, if you're new to this, is taking numerology, some call it gematria, but this is numerology, and then bringing the elements on the periodic table, which is alchemy, and we take the total outcomes of the numerology. Luke is 16, it would match up to the 16th element. 23 is the verse, it would match up with the element vanadium or vanadium, and then 43 is the verse, which would match up with technetium. And then we add them up in the trusty calculator and look at the outcome that we get. We get the 181.002, and then we go right back to alchemy and we get the wolf. And remember what we started off with, this thing right here is the two thieves is feed the wolf. These are wolves. These will cause you deception. These will cause you illusions that you will get sucked into. You will get duped. You will get tricked. You will get deceived by these right here. And we're going to talk more about that through this presentation. And it's feed the wolf. So the paradise, perhaps, is the wolf. I mean, this methodology that I've discovered says so. But let's keep going. Because we know that the 181 is the 42nd prime number. And if those of you that have been paying attention, again, I mentioned in the very beginning, check out my 42 Decoded. What is 42? Well, it's not only the symbol for Jupiter, which has the all-seeing eye on it, but it also is tied to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and life, the universe, everything. 42. And of course, 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 going to tie to that third eye. And more importantly, when we bring alchemy in this, once again, we get this 42nd element called molybdenum. This element comes from the Greek word molybdos, which means lead. So does the paradise mean lead? You're going to be put right back into an avatar and have to do the game all over again. And the 95 is the average weight of molybdenum. If you've been paying attention, 95 is 1/2 of the I am that I am. So what about this paradise? Focus down here. This scripture says, verily I say unto thee, today shalt thou be with me in paradise. Well, this scripture was originally constructed in the Greek language, which is why you should decode using the Greek ciphers. And this is the word paradise. It's paradisios, which in the Greek, it's going to give you the 113. And then we bring it into numberempire.com. 113 is the 30th prime number. Now we get some outlets we can go on to get a more descriptive narrative of what the hell this means. What does paradise mean? Well, we bring in the medicine cards. These cards came out in 1988. 52 cards matching the 52 weeks of the year. Very, very accurate. Most of you know the rabbit card is 30, representing time. We follow the rabbit. Alice equals 30. She follows the rabbit into time. What is paradise? Going down into time and playing out an avatar in this game of life. The New Age name for the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh, the Israelite God of the Bible, is Jehovah. That's a 30. Jesus said he was from Nazareth. That's a 30. And then we get this element zinc right here. And we're going to talk about this quite a bit as we go through this presentation right there with the zinc. But what was really interesting is I decoded Jack in the Box. Now, if you're not from the United States, Jack in the Box is a fast food restaurant. Typically, I'm nothing against Jack in the Box, but the food is all acidic, so it's designed to kill you faster. That's what fast food is. But the key and the clue was in the founding date of this restaurant. This restaurant was founded by Robert Peterson on February 21st, and this is the card for February 21st, the 4 of diamonds. How I found this, in case you're curious, here's the boilerplate chart for the cards of illumination. Each birthday is going to have a card associated with it. The 12 months run along the top, and then the 31 days run horizontally. So here is the category for February. We go down to the number 21, and there it is. It's the 4 diamonds card. It's the 30th card in the deck, but there it is. It's the founding date. And the reason why I'm showing this is because this card is telling you that when we follow the rabbit into time, card 30, we become Alice, we get stuck in the box. We become Jack. And if you're not a male, you're going to be female, you're going to be Jill. I decoded Jack and Jill. But there it was, tied to paradise, being stuck in the box. And necessarily doesn't mean it's a bad thing. We have to leave our emotions at the door with this. We're just trying to decode what this reality means through the code. And the code says that we're all Jack or Jill stuck in the box. That's what the code's saying. Right here with this paradise. Thou shalt be with me in paradise. Paradise is perhaps the demiurge. Demiurge equals 30. The Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh coming down and becoming man. And if you study the Upanishads, the Vedas, it says we're all incarnations of God. All of us stuck in paradise, which is not a bad thing when it's paradise. So we end up becoming this number 56, and I had shown how important this was in my 56 Decoded. The reason why I'm showing this is because of the string of pi and what it has to say about the number 56, and you know the number 30 is right there. This number 56 in the string of the golden ratio, which is tied to the sun, telling you it's from the sun, occupies digits 30 and 31, and there's that 30. And remember, paradise is tied to the 30th prime number, paradisios, from the original spelling of this scripture in Luke. So we have it tied to this number 30 and tied to 56. And, you know, we have the cards of illumination, the typical poker deck of cards, the 30 and 31st cards, being the 4 diamonds and the 5 diamonds. The 4 diamonds is the Jack in the Box card. And when you take the 4 and 5 and you bring them together, you're going to get 45, which is going to give you Greek mythology and the Pandora's box. And if you study that story, this is where the box gets opened and freaking shit gets released. All hell breaks loose. And 56 is 31. And 31 is the ending point of this. 56 means lights, camera, action, which is right here. You see, I believe that we're living, I believe that we're living inside of a movie. A simulation. The Truman Show. And the 56 is tributing that. And it's tied to this element right here called barium. And barium means to swallow something, going down in a hole, like Alice followed the rabbit down into time. 137 is the 33rd prime number. And remember, it's tied to the 30 and 31, which is tied to 113 and the paradise that we're supposedly going to go into, because that's what the Christ said, I will be with you in paradise, with this Luke 23:43, with this biblical verse. So is it just all role play? I cannot remember who said this. One of you great decoders had said this. I don't remember your name. My apologies. But I'm giving credit to you. Because someone had said something about role play. They didn't know it was the number 30. They said role play. Maybe they did, but they said role play. And I went and looked at it. And of course, bam, it was the 30. And folks, are we being role played? Are we being remotely controlled? Are we a puppet on strings? I think so. And this 30 is really big in our world if you start to go study this. There's a movie called Zero Dark 30, but I broke that down. But here is the element that's 30. It's zinc. And zinc is 16. The word hell is 16. And is that what we're being played out in? And demiurge is 30. And are we being just played in hell? Are we being role played? Is this just all a movie, a simulation? I think so. I've supported that over and over and over and over. And it has to do with the two thieves, so hang in there, folks. It has to do with these two thieves and perhaps getting you stuck in the loop of reincarnation. Notice that in the Francis Bacon, using all capital letters, that's what Francis Bacon is known for, the lowercase and uppercase, it's pi. And I'm going to be showing that through this presentation. So the word hell is 141. That's a match to the word reincarnation. And we know 3.141 is pi. And I'm going to be breaking that down with this illustration and the two thieves. So let's get into the second topic now, called the Joker and the Thieves. And, there's a great song by Bob Dylan, All on the Watchtower, and it says, the Joker said that I can't get no resolution. I can't get no relief. How can I find my way out of here? Said the Joker to the thief. I can't remember what he said, but we get into this Joker and the Thieves, and it's Bob Dylan, and the lyrics is, I can't get no... So now we get into the Joker and the Thieves, which brings up the song by Bob Dylan where he says, I can't find my way out of here, said the Joker to the thief. I can't get no relief. Who's the Joker? It's the Christ. Jesus is the Joker. This dude right here is the Joker. I know some of you will automatically place me in a layer of badness, if you will. You will say that's defamatory. You will say I'm speaking out against the great Jesus character. But folks, this right here is a story. I can't find my way out of here, said the Joker to the thief. I can't get no relief. I can't find my way out of here. Do we ever get out? Well, let's find out. Because then we bring in the two thieves. And let me just go back and forth here. To the right and to the left of the Christ are our eyes. Jesus will represent your third eye. That's why he said, make thy eye be single. That is some truth to me anyway. You got to use discernment with those scriptures, the script. Because the two thieves are your left and right eyes, obviously. And then Jesus, the Christ, would be your third eye, where when you close off the left and right eye, when you close these and you go into meditation, there you're going to find your solace. There you're going to find your truth. Because you block out the outside world from these two thieves. These will steal from you. And it's the sun and the moon. And I'm going to break that down. I'm going to break that down as we move forward into this. So let's get into the numbers. I want to get into mathematics. If you haven't seen my Architected the Universe, please check it out. See, I'm using pure mathematics now. And I'm using numbers to show you how this whole presentation is supported by the numbering system. So remember that the Christ, when you go back and you look, his head is leaning towards the right. And this guy right here is supposed to be the dude that he favors. Not this one. This is the guy that has the devil on his shoulder. It's this guy. So you would have the sun here and you'd have the moon here. And because I feel that Jesus is more tied to the moon because the moon is the sin god and Jesus washes your sins. And that's the very reason why this is played out in the biblical text. But these are the two thieves. And these are the numbers that are associated with what I'm about to show you. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've made it this far, congratulations. What I'm about to show you is going to be mind-blowing to you. And again, I'm not here to pat myself on the back. I'm not looking for blue ribbons. I'm not looking for people to send me emails to tell me and congratulate me. I don't care about that stuff. I'm looking for the truth on how this reality works through the code that's running this reality. 41, 33, 14. I mean, it's obvious that Christ was crucified at the age of 33, and 3 plus 3 is 6. And what is 6? It's the pineal gland. That's right here. That's this. 3 plus 3 is 6. It's the pineal gland. What about this 41 and 14? Why did I choose these? Because it's pi. Pi goes 3.14 forwards and 3.14 backwards, which ends up giving us the great pi. The great pi. And it gives us the loop. It gives us the infinity loop, which perhaps keeps us inside of this reality without ever getting out. And these are purely theoretical, what I'm saying. Because no one's been able to leave this place, come back, and say, well, I know how to get out of here. But nonetheless, the 41 and the 14 and the 33 are the numbers that I have come up with. I'm going to support this mathematically as I go along with this presentation. Folks, I'm about to drop some truth bombs on you that you've never seen before. So let's bring alchemy into this. Let's bring in past, present, and future. Notice that past, present, and future is a total of the number 79, which is gold. Lead to gold. But 41, 33, and 14, here are the three elements using alchemy, bringing alchemy into this, as I often do with my decodes, as often as some of you do with your decodes. 41, 33, 14. And where do we go from there? Well, when we add up and round up, see, in science, they're typically going to tell you this is isotope 93. Now, you've probably seen my work where I add up the numbers in their authentic expressions. But in science, they're going to tell you this is isotope 93. This is isotope 75. And this is isotope 28, because you can't round this one up. When you go over to the trusty calculator and you add those up, look at what number you get. 196. What's the weight of gold? 196. What is past, present, and future? 79, which is the protons of gold. So, folks, this is why I feel Chaldean is the top dog cipher. It's the most important cipher there is. Because it's tied into the cards of illumination. It's tied directly into alchemy, things we can really measure in a laboratory. It's tied into numbers and prime numbers. I mean, I have my other Fibonacci extended cipher that's going to be coming out. I think that one has a lot of merit as well, but this is very, very obvious here. So past, present, and future. What's running that? And it's gold. I mean, it's clear when you bring alchemy into this. So let's keep going. What's running the past? So I feel that the past is going to be the thief on the right of the Christ, which is going to tell you, if you study the thieves, it's going to tell you it's going to be this guy. The good one. Put your faith in this guy. This is the good guy right here. Dismas. He's venerated in the Catholic Church, so he's the good guy. Remember, are we supposed to do the opposite of what they tell you? Well, it's beginning to look like that over and over and over. Put your faith in this guy, which I feel is 41. And lo and behold, what does the Vatican have as their latitude, longitude? X marks the spot, the energy coming down and across. 41 and 12. 41 is their latitude north. It's coming down, the energy. And this is going to be tied to uranium, which is tied to the letter U and the Christ. And there's so many syncs with this. So many syncs with this. But this is duality right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the infinity symbol. You can pause this. You can observe it. You can do whatever you like. But I assure you, this mathematical expression that I'm showing you here, to me, is absolutely accurate. So let's keep going. So what is the Vatican is trying to control the past. That's what I feel they're trying to do. And why I'm saying that is because when you start to look at the mathematical equations of what I'm showing you here, who's running the future? Well, 14, I'm going to go back up again. 14 is silicon. Silicon is known as Silicon Valley, which is the tech capital of the world. And the tech capital of the world, of course, is trying to move towards transhumanism because obviously the handwriting's on the wall. It's moving man into machine because that's what we're doing. Computers and cell phones. It's clear that's what's going on. And here are the coordinates of Silicon Valley, 37 and 122. When you add those up, you get 159. And you get this element right here called dysprosium, the 66th element. Remember that Revelation is the 66th book in the Bible. And this element right here means hard to get. Think about what I'm telling you. Hard to get. The future. Silicon chips, technology. And even in the satanic 159 is the sun. But what's important is taking the Vatican, which is running the past, or trying to run the past, their empire's falling, and they become 54.3554, and that's tied to this manganese. So you have 25 and 66, and get out your calculators and add it up, you're going to get the number 91, which is a battery. So the past, present, and future is a battery. It's negative and positive, or vice versa. And in the very dead center is the neutrality point that you want to be in. Neutrality is where you want to be in, which is the third eye, which is going to be tied to your imagination. We're going to talk about that. This is huge. So what about the Vatican and them trying to control the past? Well, then you bring in the 1988 movie called They Live. This was huge for me to find this. I just found this yesterday or the day before. And when you take the Vatican City and you add up their latitude, longitude, you're going to get 54.3554, and that's going to give you the element xenon. And in the movie They Live, what was giving off the hypnotic trance to keep you stuck inside of an illusion? Cable 54. And is it a coincidence that the words hypnotic trance equals the number 54? So if you're wondering what the 54 means, it means, or it's tied to hypnotic trance, which of course 5 plus 4 is 9, which is endings and completions. But there it is right there. And these aren't the only influences on the world stage, but I will remind you, this group claims to own 1.3 million or billion members. 1.3 billion members. And then you have all the subordinates underneath that. Christianity and Judaism, all of them are all the same thing. All religion, they're all going to trickle on down and give you the hypnotic trance. But is this what's running the Vatican? I mean, at one point, the Vatican may have been pure. But then you may have some invaders come in, maybe draconian, reptilian, I don't know. Purely speculating, but it's possible. And now They Live comes out in 1988, telling you that it's Cable 54. I mean, it's right there. I mean, if you can't put two to two together right here, ladies and gentlemen, Well, I don't know what to say. But it's pretty crystal clear. And the Vatican being at 41 degrees north, they're absolutely trying to control the past. That's what they're doing. That's their job. If you stop putting your faith in these archetypes, well, then you start to go right here in the middle and get rid of the two thieves. And you go into the now moment, which is the gift, the present moment, the presence. And that's what's most important. So let's get into the next topic called the cross of Ray. Boy, if I didn't blow you away now, then, whoo, folks, I have some content going to show you. I'm going to freaking floor you. So I hope you're ready. So here it is, the two thieves with the infinity symbol going over your eyes. That's what it means, past, present, and future. And there it is right in the middle. It's the flux capacitor in the shape of the letter Y. And of course, it does have the number 88 on it. Why? Because it's tied to the miles per hour that the DeLorean had to get to and Back to the Future to time travel. And if you take 41 plus 33 plus 14, you're going to get the number 88. 88. And 88 in alchemy is tied to these two elements right here, radium and yttrium. Radium has the 88 protons. Yttrium has the 88 weight or atomic mass. And obviously they form the word ray. So those of you that have the word ray in your names, well, start to celebrate. You're a big deal on the world stage. I don't take this stuff lightly. I know a few rays. I know a few people that have Ray or the middle name Ray. Big deal people. But this is what this all means. The flux capacitor fits right in there, obviously. And what's controlling the past controls the future. Stay in the middle. Let thy eye be single. And I'll be getting into this ray. So now we're going to get into 3 other numbers. Because I had, this going left to right. 41, 33, 14. That forms the infinity symbol right here that covers your two thieves. And then we go into another set of digits. And why am I showing this? Because this is the golden ratio. So you have pi and then you have the golden ratio, 1.61. 1.61 plus 3.14 is 4.75 and 4 plus 75 is 79 and that's gold. So I'm showing this just as an example, but what I really feel it means is that it means right here. It's going vertically. So you have the pi going left to right, but you have the golden ratio going north to south. 61, 11, 16. And I'm going to break that down, but let me just show you. Here's the 88 with this right here, because if you add up 16 plus 11 plus 61, you're going to get the number, once again, 88, which is right here. It's 41, 33, 14. 88. It's pi going forwards and pi going backwards. And then you come to this 1.61. It's the golden ratio going forwards, the golden ratio going backwards. It's the past, present, and future. That's what this is. Our whole reality is based on. And he who controls the past controls the future. And it's 88. And when you add up these elements, radium and yttrium, let me look at what number you get. I mean, you want to talk about pure mathematical expressions in this code? This is the source code staring you in the face. This is not me trying to theorize on things. I'm not trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. I'm not trying to connect a word to a number and thinking that I got to figure it out. This is pure mathematics and alchemy. And it's pi. It's right there. I mean, we can go deeper and deeper when you add those up and just keeps going and going and going. But this is the vertical aspect of the past, present, and future. This is the hourglasses that shape our reality. And this is the past, present, and future going from top to bottom. So what's interesting about these three right here, when we bring the elements on the periodic table, and I'm going to go back to the ones that go across, but it's promethium, it's sodium, and it's sulfur. Right there. And I want to just let all of you know, folks, you see, if you go study the Greek mythology, which I think is more fact than myth, when you study the Greek mythology, you're going to realize Prometheum was the Titan who was responsible for molding mankind out of clay. Essentially, the story of Prometheum is this character was the god that created mankind. So I want you to think about what I'm showing you here. Prometheum was the Titan who created mankind out of clay. It was also, the story was Prometheum stole fire from the gods and gave it to mankind. What would fire be? It would be knowledge. It would be wisdom. And when you study the story of Prometheum, it's what it's going to tell you. It was the Titan who stole wisdom and knowledge and gave it to the humans, biting the apple. That's what this means. And it's the vertical expression of that right here. And we land on the number 16, and that's going to match to the word hell. I mean, you see how direct this is? This is absolute right here. In my world, we live inside of hell. This represents hell. This is the 6 days of creation, day 1 through 6. You see, the feet represent hell. The feet represent Malkuth if you follow Kabbalah. It means earth. And it's the hellish regions that we all represent. And it's the element sulfur, which reacts violently with water. And 32 is the big ding, ding, ding giveaway of the Jesuit logo, because the Jesuit logo has 32 rays representing hell. They're trying to own hell. That's what their job is. Their job, they feel, is I'm going to be the ruler, the apex predator of hell. Now you know, the cat's out of the bag, folks. What are you going to do about it? So when you bring the Vatican into this, it becomes crystal clear, because here's the cross. When you take the logo of the Vatican, I assure you, this to me, this is not fudging anything. I will guarantee this is the way it works. I will bet everything I have, this logo is tied to the infinity symbol, and this is exactly the way it works. I will bet my life on it. You have the two keys, silver and gold, and you have the crown representing Prometheum. And here's the cross with those numbers that I just showed right here. And if you can't see this, folks, I don't know what to say. If you're not a believer in what I showed you earlier, well, I mean, if you're a fan of Nikola Tesla said the keys to the universe are the 369. There they are right there. How do we get those? By adding up the protons of all 6 of these elements. This forms the cross right here. This is the cross. And it's found from the logo of the Vatican on their flag. It's the gold and silver key, the crown at the top, which is Prometheum, the Titan who gave wisdom and knowledge to humans. And we become hell and sulfur down here in Wonderland. I'm telling you, this is how it works. And there's the keys to the universe. And there's the cross right there. This is the cross using alchemy, one representation anyway. I know this to be fact right now. I don't need anybody's acknowledgement. I don't need anybody to tell me, well, yeah, man, I already know this is fact for me. You don't have to believe me, but this is fact for me now. And the cross is obviously right here. And when you bundle it all up, you got to use 6 of them. It becomes the Christ and the cross, and 74. And you become stuck in the cube. So, is this just telling you that you're going to get stuck in the cube and you ain't getting out? You're in here forever and you ain't getting out. I know a lot of you won't tolerate that. Or maybe, how do you get out? Well, I can tell you right now, stop putting your faith in the illusion of your eyes. it's this that you want to pledge to or put your faith in. The third eye. Too many people are putting their faith in what they see with their eyes. And that's why the past keeps repeating itself. That's why they say history repeats itself. Well, that's the very reason why. So 74 is cross. Jesus is 74. And if you don't like the English ordinal, go to the cross with the Chaldean. There it is right there staring you in the face. And those of you that say, oh, well, Chaldean's important, but the Chaldean's the most important in my book. And why do I say that? Well, right here, bringing in pure math. Because the number 61 is the 18th prime number. The very top of this cross is Prometheum, the 61st element. This is truth to me right here. This is why Chaldean to me is the very most important cipher you can use to decode. Period. Right there. To describe our reality. And tie into alchemy. And amongst so many other things. How about the cards of illumination? That's right, I'm going to bring them in here. Whether or not, it doesn't matter where you think they came from. You can tie them to Babylon. You can tie them to, it doesn't matter, folks. Everything inside this reality is part of the reality. And when you take these elements right here and you bring them into the cards, this is what the cross is going to look like. Right here. And when you do the numerology of these cards, you say them all out. 8 of hearts, 7 of diamonds, Jack of hearts, 3 of clubs, 2 of swords, 7 of diamonds, Ace of clubs. Look at what number you get. So if you think that any other cipher is going to beat out Chaldean, well, I think you may want to reconfigure your decision making. Because it's right there. You're not going to get this using the cards. You're not going to get this with any other cipher. And again, I'm not saying that the other ciphers don't have merit. It's not what I'm saying. But this cipher right here is the most important cipher you can use to decode reality from, to figure out how it works. And I'm showing it to you right here. Showing you the power in this, tied to real math and real prime numbers. And tying it into the cards in alchemy. You're not going to get that with other ciphers. Well, we bring into tarot now. So we get the cards of illumination. Now we transverse those into the tarot. And this tells a story right here of the cross. You know, and when you take the numerology of all these tarot cards, and you're wondering, like, why do I have it all like this? Because some of these cards, when we zoom in right here, like, this is the 3 of Wands. It only has the Roman numerology of 3. This has the Knight of Cups. This has the Ace of Wands. This has just the Roman numeral 7. This has the Roman numerals 2. This only has the Roman numerals 8. So we do that with the numerology, and we get the number 374 through these tarot cards. And 374 is tied to this word right here, the G-O-D. In Chaldean, again, we go back to Chaldean. God is 374. And if you weren't a believer then, well, we take the word Jesus. And phonetically, Jesus can be spelled with the G-E. Think General Electric, the largest electrical company in the world, I think. It's G-E. I wonder why. But here's Jesus spelled out. And when you go over to the trusty calculator and you add those up, doing the alchemology, you're going to get that 374. Which is tied to 374 from the outcomes of these tarot cards forming the cross. Found from the cards of illumination, found from the alchemical expressions of science. So when you bring all these layers in, this becomes to me absolutely undeniable. Undeniable. And, you know, I just want to break this down. Those of you that are tarot fans, if you're not a tarot fan, you may want to skip this, but this is really important because these provide symbolism. So I want you to think about what I'm showing you. I'm going to go right back up to the alchemy. Prometheum is the starting point. The Titan who stole fire and gave it to the humans, who created mankind out of clay, who gave them wisdom and knowledge. And this card is the card that represents Prometheum. It's the 8 of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is card 44, which means gold currency, but this card means leaving to go on a spiritual retreat. That's what this card means. So think about what I'm showing you here. Leaving to go on a spiritual retreat, leaving behind the things of the past to go on and forge a new path. That's what this card means. Look at the symbology of it. The person's got their back towards you. And they're walking away from these cups. Like, I've had enough. I'm going to go on a new adventure. And that's the card of Prometheus, one of them. And then he goes down from the latitude aspect, and he goes to the Knight of Cups, which is the Jack of Hearts, which is the card of the Christ itself. This card right here is looking for love. So you depart the spiritual realm, decide to come down into this reality called life, and now you're looking for love. You're looking for a partner. You're looking for things to fall in love with, a business, a corporation, a company, a hobby. You're looking for love. That's what this card means. And then at the very bottom, representing sulfur, is the Three of Wands, which is card number 25, which is tied to the word adversary, by the way, because the hellish regions that we live in are your adversary. But this Three of Wands, this card means launching long-term plans. So you leave the spiritual realm, you come down into this reality and you're looking for love, and you're this knight because you got to go into battle, and then you launch your long-term plans here in hell. That's what this means. And then running longitudinally from east to west, you have the 52nd card in the deck, which means Earth, and it's the card of which way do I want to go, because this card right here is indecision, impartiality. It has both swords. It has a blindfold. It's at night. So it means like, well, I have both swords. Do I want to go into the future, or do I want to go into the past? Or do I want to just sit in the middle and use my third eye? And then in the very center of this one is the 71st card in the deck, tied to the sun and Helios, tied to Lucifer. And this is the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Diamonds. And this is the card of like observing everything. And this is tied to the now moment. Think about what I'm showing you. This card is representing the now moment. This is you looking at your life and figuring out what is going to stay, what is going to go, what's important to you and what's not. And then lastly, we have the future card, which is the Ace of Wands, which is card 23, tied to the Royal Star of the Lion, tied to the word dream. But it's the Ace of Clubs, and it's tied to the future. This card is giving birth to new ideas, tied to the future. Think about what I'm saying. This is giving birth to new ideas. Wands means ideas, giving birth to new ideas and the future. And then this is the past. Like, okay, well, which way do I want to go? Do I want to look towards the future, or do I want to look towards the past? Well, maybe I should just look in the middle. And this guy right here, the now moment, is figuring out what's important for you to carry with you into the future. These are undeniable right here, folks, when you know how to read the tarot. These were super magical to me to find these nuggets. This has been the most important discovery of my research career right here. If you're a fan of the tarot and the cards of illumination and alchemy and numerology and gematria, and this is it, folks. This is telling you. Stop putting your faith in the past. Stop looking back into the past. You are the Christ. You are the Jesus character. You are the devil. You're all that. If you're a sinner, you're a devil. It's okay. You have good and bad inside of all of you. All of you have that. And the keys to the universe, the Vatican, obviously they want to be the leader in that. They don't need to be the leader anymore. So if those of you that are putting your faith in it, stop putting your faith in this organization. Their empire's crumbling. Nothing lasts forever. This is the reason why this information's coming out right now, because it's time. The time is now. Keys to the universe are tied to your two thieves. The crown is your pineal gland, not these. It's the pineal gland, the pine cone. And it's the clock. You see, this whole symbolism of the Vatican on their flag is tied to the clock. Because this down here, representing hell, there's the pendulum going back and forth, just like a grandfather clock. And this is time, which may end up being Saturn, representing Father Time. But there's the clock. You can see the pendulum right there. You can't miss it. It's right there, staring you in the face. And this is the lower realm. And when you go back and you look, it's right here, launching long-term plans. What are you going to do with that? It's the Three of Clubs. This is the Game Master card, by the way. If you follow, if you watched any of my other decode, this is Game Master. And it's sulfur, because we're in hell. That's what this means. It's pretty easy now, folks. You have the eyes to see what I'm showing you. This is undeniable in my book. So let's get into the next topic. The Black Sun illusion. Because that's what this is right here, folks. These are going to give you illusions. When you turn on the news, when you turn on mainstream, yes, I know people are getting killed. Yes, I know there's evil in the world. Yes, I know there's craziness and we're living in the loony bin. We're in the dark age. We're in the Kali Yugas. But if you just focus on the third eye more than anything else, you will start to create forethought rather than afterthought. Because afterthought is the brother of Prometheus. We want the forethought. And we realize that the left and right eyes are causing the simulation. Because you see, if you don't see anything, if you don't open your eyes, you're not giving any energy to the magic on the world stage. That's how magic works 101. When you turn on something on the news and you give it your energy, you're like, oh, that's correct. Oh my God, I can't believe that's happening. You're giving energy to the simulation. And you can't help it. You got to open your eyes. But it's the third eye that makes, or the single eye that makes the most importance out of anything. We get our DNA. Of course, that fits right in there. And then we get the fish from the Christ, and that's going to fit in there. Fish means our eyes. That's why they went fishing. And it just goes on and on. And so this is why I'll end this category or this number with us being the devils, because inside the eyes you have the pupils. These are the black suns. These do not give off their own light. They absorb light. They'll deceive you. They'll cause you illusions. They'll cause you deceptions. They are your adversary. This is undeniable now. We are the black sun, along with the earth. So if you want to know what the devil is, folks, it's you. I know some of you won't tolerate that. Like, oh, I'm not a devil. Well, do you sin? Are you perfect? If you're perfect, then cool. Please send me an email and tell me you're perfect. You have achieved something that no one's ever achieved. See, your ego is your adversary. Your ego is going to crave things. Your primal is going to want things. When you close your eyes, it doesn't need anything. That's what you want to focus on. And we become sodium. That's why Jesus said we're the salt of the earth. Ye are the salt of the earth. Yeah, that's because sodium is the black sun. And here's the symbol for sodium, the Royal Society of Chemistry. And you can go study this. I would highly suggest you do. Sodium right here, here's 22. 22 is tied to the word dragon and tied to the word Michael. Michael fighting the dragon. 22 is tied to titanium. We're all the titans. We're all the fallen angels down here in that story context. And we're all the black sun, folks. All of us. So let's get into the next topic. Architect 28. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where I started this whole decode. Why I started this whole decode. And it was because of this guy right here. Big shout out to Paul. And for privacy reasons, I'm not going to give you his last name. I'm not going to give you his email, but it's Paul. And he goes by Ballyman77. So big shout out to you, Paul. You're part of this decode. Much love to you. And he had sent me this email. I've graded out, except for one piece that stood out like a sore thumb and what made me do this decode. And he had sent me this long email, and he had said, you know, he had talked about some decodes that I had done and had given him some thoughts, and I didn't put two and two together on this, so this is credit to him. But as you know, folks, the inner eye, if you go to the Christ and you look at the INRI, it's right above the Christ, right there. That's not a secret, and that has a lot of meaning to it. But this is what he said. It says inner eye. INRI, inner eye. Inner eye, plain as day. And he's absolutely correct. It is, and it means inner eye. So I'm going to show you the organic code working. Because of this email, he sent it to me, and here I am doing this decode, the Two Thieves. And this is the date that he sent it on. February 28th, which is why I've called this the Architect 28. Of course, the word architect equals 28. The word Lucifer equals 28. 28 is the second perfect number in mathematics. It's right there. And the card that represents February 8th, which is the 39th day of the year, by the way, which is tied to Lucifer again. But anyway, it's the Four Spades card. So I just want to be very crystal clear. Here it is, February, and then February 8th is the Four Spades card. So this is when he had sent me this email talking about the inner eye. And I just put two and two together. I was blown away. So the Four Spades becomes the Four Swords. And what does this card represent? Going to sleep. Meditation. What does going to sleep and meditation have to do with? Closing your eyes and then focusing on the third eye. The inner eye, which is where this email came from Paul on February 8th. So folks, this is the organic code always working in the background. And this guy, Paul, thank you again, Paul, was part of it. So you can see how beautifully orchestrated this code is. And we're talking about the third eye. And again, this is, you know, the two thieves are the two eyes that we have. Well, it's the third eye that you want to focus on. You want to go into meditation, go to sleep. And the counterpart to this card right here, every card, by the way, has another card tied to it. Let me just show you how that works. Here is the chart for the cards of illumination. To the right here is the card section that is the master life configuration. This is going to be where your ego card is. All of you should know where your card is. And then all you have to do is find the card that you're located at here in the chart. For instance, let me just zoom in. Here is the Four of Spades card right here. And then all we have to do is match that up over here. We come over to the master spirit side, and here is the counterpart card. It's the 10 clubs card. So the 10 clubs and the 4 spades are, if you could say, they're in bed together. And lo and behold, what is the 10 clubs card? It's the 23rd card in the deck. And what equals the number 23 in numerology? It's the pineal gland. And it's right here. It's the inner eye, folks. So this guy sends me an email on February 8th telling me that it's the inner eye. And the counterpart to the card that is on February 8th is the 23rd card, matching the word pineal gland. I mean, folks, do you think this guy's trying to pull the wool over your eyes? You think Paul's trying to mock you or screw you over? Try to get one over on you? No, folks, you see, this is the organic code always working in the background, always operating through all of us. Always. Whether it's Team Darth Vader or Team Yoda, good or bad, it's going to be playing out. And of course, the word pineal gland is 23, and the pineal gland is the crown gland, tied to the word 23. So he says it's the inner eye. It's the inner eye. And the word inner is 18, which is a match to Jesus and the Christ. Undeniable. So, you know, I don't doubt the Christ. I've never been like doubting anything on that aspect. Was he a real guy that came here? I don't know. I wasn't here. If he was, he was. If he wasn't, he wasn't. the story and the script that was written in the code for this reality, he's written in the script. Just like you're written in the script, just like I'm written in the script. And I think the big takeaway is stop giving your energy to the devils. Give your energy to the inner eye. That's going to be love. I'm going to show that, how that's love. So are we all just in a dream? Are we all just in a dream? Now, I had created this cipher. I'm hoping Derek comes out with this cipher. If you haven't watched my Decode, the Fibonacci extended cipher, I did a short presentation on this new cipher that I've created using the Fibonacci sequence. I think Derek will end up including that on his Gematria Knitter website. But this is, right now, this is proprietary, and not even proprietary anymore, but this is kind of something I created. You're not going to be able to create this on the website. But the word dream is 18. I think this has massive merit, folks. And the word dream is 18, and the 61 tied to Prometheus is the 18th prime number. So are we living in a dream? And is the dream the pineal gland? Is it the inner eye? Are we just is this right here, this soul below, this is us, the human being experience? The planets fit in here. The sun, the moon, Saturn, Jupiter. Are we just the so below of the as above? Is the cosmos outside of Earth? Is it the planetary lineup right here? And what's the third eye? What's giving us this dream? Are we just inside the dream? Remember in the Truman Show, where was Christoph from? The moon. He was on the moon. What is Christoph? It's the Christ. It's the Jesus Christ figure. So are we just in a dream? DreamWorks Pictures. Right there, their logo. Tied to the 61 and Prometheum. Tied to the Christ. You know, and is Jesus tied to the moon more than he's tied to the sun? Well, I think so. This says so right here. We're all living inside of a dream. The cosmos is having a dream, and it's a simulation. And it all comes down to this sands of time right here. We only get so much time in this dream. And how this works is it works through astrology. So we move through ages. So we bring in another layer. It gets really complex, but we must synchronize all these to get the big picture. And I believe that all of us the majority of us, were born in the Piscean age. So if I were to take this hourglass and I were to put it right over this right here, it would fit perfectly. And this wheel's going to spin as it moves through time if you're a fan of astrology. And this is the story of the Christ. Because see, Jesus was born of a virgin, which is Virgo. And then he was born as a fisher of men. So this right here is the story of the Christ. Right there is the Jacob's ladder, as I like to call it. And Virgo's ruled by Mercury. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, but I really think it's ruled by Uranus. But there it is, and when we move through time, we now go into the sign of Aquarius and Leo. You see, now it's shifted. We were Virgo, Pisces, but now I feel we're Leo and Aquarius. We're now on the dance floor. This is the dance floor. And as the sands run down through time, this is us down here, in the sign of Aquarius, and the sign of Leo is going to rule over that, which of course is ruled by the sun. Is this the third eye? And what we do is we just take an hourglass, we make it a little smaller, and we place it over our face. And I think this is exactly how it works. You see, what we speak, the throat chakra, what we speak is what we see from our imagination. But we also have the other devils involved. So now we get a hourglass running horizontally, and now we have a perfect form. So we have the past, present, and future, and then we have perhaps the game. And all of them are in cahoots together, and that's what gives us this lucky shape called the four-leaf clover, because it's right there. So as we move through time, folks, and every age has only a certain period of time, so when these sands of time run down, As Leo's sands run down into Aquarius, we end up shaping the reality through the past, present, and future, which of course is going to give you Scorpio and Taurus, which are going to be the 4 fixed signs of astrology that we are now moved into right here. And this is the photon of light, by the way. And we move through time, and if we switch, we move. We're going to go into the mutable signs, which is what we were once in. We were once in a cardinal sign, but now we're in the 4 fixed signs. The ox line eagle man talked about in Ezekiel 1 verses 10 if you bring theology into this. So I believe this is how it works, which I showed in my Jacob's Ladder Decode, much more in depth of how this works. But I know for a fact this is how this reality works to me personally. I know without a shadow of a doubt this is how you properly synchronize this. And we are living through the sands of time. And when those sands run out, the age moves and shifts. So when we get rid of the age of Aquarius, we're going to go into the age of Capricorn. And then the age of Sagittarius. That's how this works. So let's get into the pineal gland now. Because are we living in a dream? Are we really living in a dream? And is the moon our pineal gland? Or is it part of our pineal gland? Remember Christoph, the Truman Show? Christoph, he was ruling over Truman. And, you know, when you do the numerology of this, the moon, the pineal gland, the crown, they're all 23. All of them. So is the pineal gland our moon? In the Vedic astrology, moon is the most important. If you fancy the Vedic astrology system. But I mean, there's a match of the 23 in all the same cipher. And then we go back to this dream being the number 18 in the Fibonacci extended cipher. And we go back to, you know, phonetically, Jesus can be spelled with a G-E, as I showed earlier. Jesus is the moon, is 61. 61 is the 18th prime number. And Jesus spelled with the J is the number 18. So are we just having a dream of the Christ? And that's it. We are the Son of Man. All living out our dreams. All living out our imaginations. Well, when you bring this number 23 into the string of the golden ratio, here it is. The number 23 is tied to the 131, 132, and we go back to Alchemy, and we go back to this Cable 54 news station, which was broadcasting that hypnotic trance. Do they know how to broadcast through this number 54? Is this what it means to tap into the pineal gland? Why is this pineal gland in the St. Peter's Square in the Vatican? Why do they try to calcify the pineal gland through measures such as fluoride, etc., etc.? So you don't open that up to realize what's running this reality in a big way. Not running the entire reality, but running this reality in a big way. Influence, so to speak. And is there someone in your head? You see, I had postulated this in several decodes in the song Brain Damage by Pink Floyd. 1973, on March 1st, this album came out. Dark Side of the Moon. Dark Side of the Moon, this came out. There's someone in my head, but it's not me. Roger Waters wrote these lyrics. Roger Waters. Water is tied to the moon. But he said, there's someone in my head, but it's not me. Brain Damage. And it's tied to Xenon and the hypnotic trance. Remember, hypnotic trance is 54. Tied to They Live. Tied to the pineal gland. Tied to Dark Side of the Moon. And tied to that number 23. How about the string of pi? We did the golden ratio. The string of pi is going to give you a different outcome. It's tied to the 16th and 17th element. If you add up 16 and 17, you're going to get the number 33. Tied to arsenic again, which I showed earlier with the cross. And then these two characters, which I believe are just the two brothers. It's Jesus and Lucifer, which are probably just the sun and moon. And it's the 74. 33 is the pineal gland. So now you know 33 means the pineal gland. 33 plus 3 is 6. 6 is the sixth chakra. It's right here. 33 is 6. Can't miss it. But there it is. It's the 33. in the string of pi. Telling you the truth. Then we bring in the Masons into this. And this is where I have a lot of respect for this society. And I will just once again tell you, I'm not a Mason, but I have a lot of respect for what they do because they obviously throw a lot of truth bombs out. And you see, the backlash they get is everybody thinks it's evil and destructive and oh, they're so bad. Folks, there's evil in everything. But here's the truth staring you in the face. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to just dismiss what I'm going to show you? Are you going to dismiss what I'm about to show you? Well, I'm not going to force anything on you. But if you're past the point of the Masons, just they're all bad, the congratulations. Because what I'm about to show you, this to me is what it means. You see, the word imagination is what we all use to create our reality. Most people don't use imagination. They would rather have the things created than the power to create. That's Neville Goddard. People would rather watch the television and create off that, or listen to somebody else and create off that, versus going into their third eye and creating off their imagination. And this is the reason why Francis Bacon's so important, because the capital G is the 33rd letter, and there it is right in the middle of the square and compass. And what does the square and compass represent? It means mason. It means builder. You build through your imagination. So no, these people are not evil, folks. Do they have evil in their organization? Every organization probably has evil inside of it. There's duality in everything. They're telling you the truth right here. So maybe you need to reconsider what you believe. And I know that they're big into this little nursery rhyme. Row, row, row your boat gently down a stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. Is it a dream? Well, if you take the word life and dream and you bring them together, it's going to give you the number 33. So most definitely, to me, we're living inside of a dream, and it's the imagination of the cosmos. We are the imagination of the cosmos. We're being used to create the blueprint of this reality from the cosmos. And that's what the G is. I mean, it means that obviously it's the number 7, which is the 7 chakras, but it's the 33 in the capital Francis Bacon. So there it is, folks. So now you know it doesn't mean evil. So stop with this nonsense. It's Masonic and forget about that garbage crap. Get out of that reality. It's telling you, use your imagination, which most people don't do. And this is proof right here that the dream that we live in is life that we live in, and it's the 16 and 17 is right there. Life and dream is 16 and 17. It's right there with the number 23, which is tied to the pineal gland, which is right here, which is tied to the moon, has a big say in it. And it's the crown jewel. I mean, you can't miss this, folks. You can't miss these numbers right there staring you in the face. Now that you have this information, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to continue on your beliefs because you're wrong and you got to now retract what you believe? So what about the sun and the moon? Because I believe that the pineal gland is the sun and the moon. It's not just the moon. Because you see this right here, this chakra, if you study the chakra, it only has 2 petals in the Vedic. One is the sun and one is the moon. And they create the dream. Lights, camera, action creates the movie. And both the sun and moon is the number 5 when you reduce them down. 14 is the sun, 23 is the moon, but 1 plus 4 is 5, and 2 plus 3 is 5, and you're going to get the 55. And how many fingers do you have? 5 on one side. How many fingers do you have on this side? 5 on the other. How many toes you got? 5. How many toes on this side? 5. So the moon is going to give you 5. The sun is going to give you 5. And you get 55. And the word predestination is 55. That's right, because we're living in a predestination kind of cycle. We are predestined to live out our simulation. We live in a predestination situation, folks. And remember, the word duality equals 20. The word Mason equals 20. The word pawn equals 20. The word Jesuit equals 20. So you think those organizations have any relevance over you? They have none. They have no merit over you. You got to start using your imagination. You got to stop paying tribute to these energies and organizations. That's the big secret. The big secret is to use your imagination. But you know what people are doing today? They're not. They're fighting and they're causing massive division over they trying to be right, and they're trying to blame a side. Well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to blame a side. It's the sun's fault. No, it's the moon's fault. No, it's the sun's fault. No, it's the moon's fault. When the person you should be blaming is you. It starts with you. Put your faith in you. And start to discover the true power and essence of what it's like to be a human being. So it comes down to this 56. The 5th chakra and the 6th chakra. Because what you see in your third eye, you're going to speak it. And God said, let there be light. He saw it in his mind's eye, through his imagination, and he spoke it. So it's 56, and it's the movie. We live in a movie. We live in a Truman Show. 56. When you bring that into the alchemical aspects, you're going to get barium again, 137. 137 is the 33rd prime number, going right back to that third eye. So the movie that we live in is through the third eye and the throat chakra, speaking from the imagination. That's what the cosmos does. We're living inside the mind of the cosmos. I know that may be far-fetched for some of you to believe. We go right back to I don't know why I had this one there, but we go right back to the tarot cards from the medicine deck, and we get the 65 now versus the 56. So we had the 56, now we get the 65. And the 65 is tied to this 30th element, meaning zinc, and zinc is tied to this element, rabbit right here. We follow the Alice into time. Alice is 30, rabbit is 30. So if you don't like the 56, you're like, oh, well, it's not 56, it's 65. Okay, well, here's the 65 right here in zinc. The average atomic weight of zinc is 65. It's the 1111, by the way, but it's the 30th element. 30 is tied to the rabbit. Rabbit is following time. That's what the 30 means. It's the architect coming down into time. It's Alice coming down into time to experience its own game. That's what the 65 means. So if you don't like the 56, you get the 65, it's going to give you the same outcome. And last but not least on this right here, the colors of the chakras. See, the 6th chakra is indigo. And then the throat chakra is blue. And there you have the two emotions that we live out. This is why Chaldean is the top dog cipher, once again, is because this is what we live out. We live through love and fear. Love and fear. These are our two emotions. And they're going to be tied to the recycling process, as I had shown in many of my decodes now. Prison Planet, 42 decoded, 33 decoded, 19, 37, 46. And 21 plus 16 is 37. 19, 37, 46. So do we get recycled back into the game? Is that what happens? Is that just inevitable? Well, the word recycle is 26. The reason why I have the bloodied handprint there is because you see this element right here, iron, is what's in our blood. And iron has an atomic weight of 56, which is tied to lights, camera, action. Tied to recycled. And then it's tied to the ancient Israelite God of the Holy Bible called the Tetragrammaton. So, and the Tetragrammaton is on the top of the King James Bible used by the Vatican. So do we get recycled back into the game because we put faith in the Bible? Do we get recycled back into the game because we put faith into these influences on the world stage? And is what we're supposed to do is not listen to these influencers. Because you're going to get recycled right back into the game again. And is the clue to put thy eye be single. As I have said in my Prison Planet, you got to be neutral. What is neutral? Right here. This is love and fear. This is neutrality. It has to be this way. Love and fear, neutrality. To get recycled back into the game, love and fear. Or do we just get recycled back in no matter what? Well, I guess that we'll find out. We're all going to find out. And last but not least on this presentation is the 56 card in the deck for the tarot, which is the Six of Swords. And this card right here, ladies and gentlemen, means transition. It means a journey over water, transition, coming down into the game and becoming a character. That's what this means right here. And it just may be inevitable, folks, that the two thieves that deceive you are not going to matter. Because the recycling process is this loop right here. 19, 37, 46 is going to be 19 and 20, 37 and 38, 46 and 47. But the lights, camera, action, we're living inside of a movie. Do we ever get out of the movie? Well, perhaps the only way to get out of it is to go within and make thy eye single and go to singularity instead of duality. So anyway, folks, what did you see? That's what I got. Woo, that was a long one. Thanks for sticking with me. What did you see during this presentation? I know there were things I missed, things I could have brought up, but I'd love to hear what you saw during this presentation. Now, this is going to lead into another decode. I can already feel it. This was a gem for me personally. Maybe or maybe not for you. But there were truth bombs in here that were massive for me. How about you? So I'd love to hear what you saw during this presentation. Thank you for sticking with me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all your donations, your Patreons, those of you that are interested in a reading. I'm cherry picking them because I'm choosing just specific dates on the calendar. I'm trying to come out with my course. I have so much on the shelf with decodes, collaborating with people. I'm just super busy, but if you're interested in a reading, send me an email, decodeyourreality@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you on that. But as I say, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan. This is Decode Your Reality. Until next time, folks, we will see you later.